Hi. Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. It's just Damian here. Just a little bit of an update of dating, being myself and driving and some other little bits. Firstly, I'd just like to state that I have some ideas in the pipeline and I'm just trying to bring them into fruition what I am trying to achieve, and I would like to work with companies and that kind of thing on developing strategies, developing change for positive growth for myself for the next step on the ladder. So basically, yeah, I'll get into that a little bit later, and I just wanted to start off with what's going well and what isn't. So yeah, basically I've been a little bit under the weather this week. I have had a bit of an upset stomach since Thursday night. No, since Tuesday night, sorry, it started, and then I'd had three, three, 3 days, 3 or 4 days with diarrhea. So yeah, it's a little bit, it's still painful and it's a little bit sore still, but it's not as bad as what it was. But I was like burping and I could taste sulphur or like rotten eggs, like stink bomb. But yeah, that's gone, and I'm feeling a little bit better now, and I'm just feeling a little bit better now. I'm just trying to be a little bit more true to myself and get out a little bit. So basically, yeah, if I'm a little bit under the weather, yeah. So basically, yeah, this is gonna get into some nitty gritty tonight. As you're all aware, I have been trying to get my driving license back for a good couple of years and got it back. The vehicle's registered in my name and it's taxed, it's tested, it's MOT'd. Uh, it's going to need renewing the MOT before July because it's due in the service. So, have bought some brakes to go on the front, and they're at my mum's, and my dad's going to try to fit them for me. And yeah, I've been looking at trying to get refresher lessons. If anyone would like to help, that would be great. I have been trying to get refresher lessons. However, I am struggling to find an instructor. I found an instructor that I felt like a connection with because she was transgender, and I did speak to her once and she was like more seemed exactly what I wanted. However, she was going to stop teaching in manual vehicles and just progress over to automatics. However, the problem is that my vehicle is a manual and my mum and dad don't want me to do fresh lessons in an automatic. But yeah, but but yeah, they didn't. But yeah, they didn't really mind last year when someone suggested it, but that was a different story because last year the DVLA put me on a refresher course, and one of the instructors that I had didn't understand the autism, and he wasn't as patient as I'd like, and he was saying to mum about trying the automatic, but mum wanted me to do the assessment in the automatic just to get me through it. But I know that if I did the assessment with the automatic, I would have lost my manual privileges. But that's a different story. So I am looking for instructors, and a lot of them they don't have waiting lists because the waiting lists are too long. So I've it's been mentioned to me about going out in my car round round the block, or even if it's just to the top of the street, turn round, come back, put it on the drive whilst the roads are quiet. I have full license. It's only valid for a year or less than a year now because it's a medical license and they review it once a year. When the review's done next year, it might increase times to appointments. However, times to renew. However, it's because it's a medical license. It's full. It's no points. There's no restrictions on it other than the fact it's for a year. So genuinely, I've been advised to take it round the block, do this, do that. However, family are like, my family are like, you're not getting the keys to drive it, and they're like, you need refresher lessons first. You could kill someone, but then my mum contradicted herself and stated that anyone could kill someone in a vehicle. So I've been in touch with a solicitor. This solicitor has been in touch with me loads of times. She knows me well. She's worked with me on some other stuff. She's a mental health solicitor as well as a police solicitor. So she's like, you need to be contacting the police. It's theft. So I'm like, contacting the police, explain the situation, and they're like, Thursday night, they were like, we're not getting into a dispute between you and your mum. They'd I then rang another police force because I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with the force that I got. So they put a referral in, and they rang me back on Thursday night whilst I was walking home and stated that they were going to send someone out to investigate it and that kind of thing. So I rang back last night, and they had stated that they had stated that had stated that had stated that it had been sorted now with my mum and that kind of thing. Generally, it hasn't. I'm looking into ideas and that, what I'll get to in a minute. So it's generally not been uh, sorted between me and my mum, and they're like, put me on hold, done, done this, done that. So they checked, and they're like, your mum's taken the keys off you for welfare reasons. This isn't a theft. We suggest that you get refresher lessons or whatever. However, they're telling me that I need refresher lessons. I would like to, hand on heart, I would like to look for refresher lessons and get back in touch with driving and that kind of thing. But the problem is that, like, finding instructor at the moment's like hen's teeth. But like most companies that I've been looking at will only work with you if you're learning to drive. I went on websites and that say they do refreshers, but there's none available. But someone was stating as well on the forum that I was on that insurance changes when you pass your test or whatever, because the legalities are different, and it's more to insure a vehicle when you pass rather than when you learn. So there's different things to look into, take into consideration. So it's like, I'm trying to explain this, but you need refresher lessons, you need this, you need that, but I'm genuinely trying to sort this out. Looking uh I've been looking online, and if you work for Mowden Rugby Club in Darlington, Mowden Arena, I would like to work with you on this if it's possible. I know that you've got a car park. What another Malden rugby club has a car park that's another Malden rugby club has a car park that's tailored for driving experiences and driving events, which might be suitable for me so that I could get to learning again in a safe environment so that I can practice. I do have insurance on the vehicle and I do have insurance on the vehicle and I have tax tested, MOT'd, full license. I can work with you on that. But yeah, if you want to work with me, that'd be great. Uh, and that'd be great because I'll be able to practice in a safe environment and to look into things like that. I do have another idea as well on looking for a personal assistant as a temporary measure that could go on my car insurance to support me whilst I'm learning to drive, or to support me to get my confidence back, should I say. I've got a full license, it's full, so just to accompany me in the car for refresher lessons. I have had support workers in the past whilst I was open to social care. However, I'm not open to social care anymore, and this will be primarily funded out of by myself for a temporary measure. So I am looking into into different options. The other option that I've been looking at, this third option, so this other option that I was looking at, I'd been told about the company that can do refresher lessons, like advanced refresher lessons in your own vehicle. However, it's £125 for 2 hours, and they want you to they want you to basically they want you to drive to meet your instructor, and then for you to do refresher lessons during that time. So that like kind of defies the object, it defies the point. So it was like the nearest area for us was like Northallerton area, and it's like it could be anywhere between here and Northallerton. And I'm like, if I've not had confidence, if I've not got the confidence because of not driving because of the medical reviews and that kind of thing, then it's going to be hard finding 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 uh, an instructor doing it like that because it defies the object. So yeah, I'm looking into options. I'm looking into options, and I've got a few ideas that I want to try. So yeah, I'm looking into a few ideas that I want to try, that I wish to try. Everything that I'm looking into would be legal, and it's just it's just that at the moment I'm finding it hard and to understand what's going on because I had the issues with the places who were saying. So I got an email from one of them as well, from someone as well that I didn't mention. I've only just remembered they had advised to contact the DVLA. I'll just try to see if I can get it from my phone. Uh, Good afternoon, Damian. Thank you for your email. Perhaps a good idea would be to contact the DVLA for advice, as the police are not the right agency to advise on such matters. I agree with your approach to gather as much information and rebuild your confidence before driving alone. Kind regards, Victoria. So, been in touch with the DVLA. DVLA had stated that I've got my driving license back for medical reasons, and I'm not required by law be to be doing refresher lessons and that again. So then they're stated that I need to ring the police or whatever, and then the police are asking, did I pay for the vehicle? Um, it was my money used for the vehicle. However, it was through my dad my dad paid for it, but it was my money that was used. So because of that, then they're stating that the logbook, because then they're stating that the logbook doesn't define who the owner is, and because my dad had paid for it and that kind of thing, even though that it was 100% my money, then there's a problem there. So yeah, I'm generally looking at ideas of what I want regarding that. So yeah, it's just a little bit at the moment. It's just a little bit at the moment where it's just a little bit at the moment where I'm trying to get the next step up on the ladder for personal growth, personal progression, and it's like my aunt was asking me the other night, when do I want to start driving again? When will I be driving again? And it's like I, I don't know what's happening, because it's like I'm getting mixed messages here, and I'm just trying to lap about it, vicious circle. You're like, you need to contact us, you need to contact the police, you need to contact us, you need to contact the police. So it's just a vicious circle. I've just getting a little bit frustrated with it, but yeah, it would be nice to start driving, experience what it's like to drive with the girls out, get the bra on, get the heels on. I'm not going to drive in heels. I've got some ballet flat thing shoes that I most likely use, or ladies trainers as well when I'm driving, but it was a joke there. I'm not going to drive in heels, but driving in the dress, driving with the girls out, that's something that I want to do. It's the only thing in my life that I've not done at the moment, is like the only thing in my life that I've not done at the moment whilst dressed is to get the girls out whilst I'm driving, and to do this, to do that, and it's a little bit hard. It's a little bit hard, but yeah, it's something that I'd like to do. Experience what it'd be like to have the boobies out, to have the girls out, to be a bit more feminine whilst driving. A bit more feminine whilst driving. But yeah, it's a slow process. It's a slow process. It's taken me over. Yeah, yeah, as I say, it's a slow process, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's like, it's just ironic. It's just a little bit hypocritical, or ironic, because I'm wanting to get my next step up on the ladder, and social norms, social changes, social responsibilities are pushing me against that. I do have an appointment with Dr. Green on Wednesday, what I'm going to discuss it with. But yeah, it's just a little bit hard, and a little bit hard, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the journey. I know that I'm getting a bit frustrated, a bit angry, and a bit frustrated, but I'm enjoying the journey because it makes me think. Because how can I, how can I prove this person? How can I prove it to this person? How can I prove it to that person? And what do I need? What's worked? What's not worked? And it's like, can I try this? Can I try that? Like when I been to hospital the other day because of my stomach, anything mental health related or whatever, it's my stomach's been bad. So it's like I got off the bus and walking home, and it's like, yeah, a light bulb moment hit. I know what I'd do. I might look into to working with my advocates to see if I can get see if I can apply for a support worker just to sit with me whilst driving. It might be a little bit cheaper than getting an instructor or a bit quicker. And it's like I'm coming up with that idea, and it's like ringing my mum and emailing my advocates manager and trying to come up with these solutions. But yeah, it's a little bit hard knowing what I want and a little bit hard knowing what I want and anything. But yeah, it's a little bit hard knowing what I want. But I'm wanting to learn. Wanting to I'm wanting to learn. I'm wanting to try something new. I'm wanting to understand myself why it's gone wrong, why it hasn't, and it's more rewarding to me. And yeah, it's just the circle of being me, really. Daniela. My name is Danielle, but sometimes if I'm feeling sexy, it's Daniela. But yeah, just this vicious cycle. But yeah, it's moving moving forward. I've got ideas up here, but bringing them out is hard. If anyone would like to work with me on this, that'd be great. Another thing that I'm struggling with is my anxiety's been a little bit worse, and I'm getting flashbacks and trauma about certain individual from mental health services whose name I'm not going to mention. And I know that it's triggered off because of the open referral to community mental health. It's like I'm getting the trauma, I'm getting the flashbacks again. It's yeah, I'm like getting the trauma and getting the flashbacks again, and it's just a little bit hard. But my doctor had my doctor will be able to see that I managed to get my mental health under control, but it's a little bit more difficult, really, because of me being reopened to mental health services. I know that I'd spoke to someone from mental health services the other day, and they're like, "Why has it changed? Why has it changed your anxiety all of a sudden?" I'm like, it's because I'm open to mental health services again. It's causing the trauma in that, but yeah, generally I don't know what to do about it because on one hand I'm getting my advocates telling me they want me to try it, then on the other hand I'm getting my mum telling me not to try it. On the other hand, I am on the other hand I am getting my doctors thinking that I'm doing well with the mental health and they want to increase the appointments. So, but yeah, it's like people asking me. The problem is people are asking me why I want to be discharged from mental health services, and I'm like trying to be honest and state that I've got I'm getting trauma and flashbacks and thoughts again about previous experiences with the mental health service, and because of that, they automatically think it's a police matter, and then the police are referring it to ambulances and paramedics and referring me back, referring me back to ambulances, getting the ambulances out. But like last week, last week I'd rang 111 for something. No, 101. That was it, 101. Rang 101 for something Saturday last week, and they were like, I'd rang them just to ask. No, it was, yeah, no, it was Sunday, sorry, Sunday. I'd watched Formula One, Monaco Grand Prix, and then the IndyCar. So yeah, it was Sunday last week. I'd rang. Had some concerns that my mum had some concerns that because people are putting welfare calls into the police and they're putting welfare calls into the police, that it's going to look bad for me in the long run. Look, it's going to go against me possibly for my court appearance in July. Um, that it's going to look bad. So I ran the police just to ask them about that. They stated that I needed to ring 111 or the ambulance service for mental health, which I did, and just explained what I'd explained to them what the police had said, and they're like, we don't deal with this kind of thing, that kind of thing. So they'd asked if I had any symptoms, and I'm like, yeah, I've got some symptoms. This is how I'm feeling. I don't want to discuss it with you because I don't want to discuss it with you, and that I don't want to discuss it with you because I know that you refer it to the crisis team or whatever, and I don't want the crisis team to be informed, or I'm not allowed to contact the crisis team. The reason is I'd contacted them in September last year, got a they told me to contact the police. Police told me to contact the crisis team. Passed on between the police and the crisis team. Arrested for malicious communication and misuse of the police number because I rang someone else for help as well for a third party. And I then it's going to court in July. So I'm being told that the restrictions are still in place. So yeah, there was all that, and I tried explaining that to them on the phone to 111 to the ambulance service, and they were like, yeah, to 111 to the ambulance service, and they were like, they were like, yeah, it's my normal everyday thoughts. It's controllable. It's normal for me. So I'm like, we need to. I thought the woman had cancelled the call back from the clinician, and I'm like, they rang me back, explained over the phone that explained over the phone that there were normal rang back and explained over the phone that there were normal anxiety levels and there were normal thoughts and feelings. I don't want to speak to a clinician. I've got no intent to speak to a clinician, and I've got no intent to speak to a clinician. I've got no intent to speak to a clinician. I've got no intent to speak to a clinician. Ring me back again. Rang back, gave them the same answers, the same situation. Rang back again, gave it the same answer, same explanation, rang back, and so on. And I did say at one point, look, I'm worried. I don't want to speak to anyone. I'm worried that they're going to send an ambulance out, which and I don't need, and I don't need. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need the ambulance. And they're like, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. So they sent an ambulance out again, and the ambulance followed me, said they weren't going to follow me, and then they started following me. And they were like, are you getting in to be assessed? I've not called you out. And they're like, you've called us out, we're not following you. And I went somewhere and they were waiting on my front until I got back. And I'm like, I've not been trying to cancel it. That made my anxiety worse because I was worried about it all night, and the police had the police had, had made me anxiety worse all night and that, and it's just a vicious circle. I know what's causing it. I know what's causing it, and it's just about trying to get them, like, trying to get them to work in sync. So my doctor should know that this has got worse since working in mental health services. However, have looked at other opportunities in that as well, and the opportunities that I felt like there was going to be a connection with and that spark with have stated that that I need two complex two specialists for them. So it's just this vicious circle at the moment where everything's leading back to community mental health. And I know that I am happier with not working with them. I know that I had all these thoughts and that under control more or less until the referral had been made again. I know that some stuff had happened in the past and that's starting to flare up again. I'm starting to question what my intention is again, and I'm not doing it. I'm not making threats or anything. It's just that when I was open to services before, they branded me a danger to women and over misunderstandings, and it's like I start questioning my intention because I start believing what their experience is, what they were telling me through past experiences and that which weren't true. And I don't get that with the doctors. The doctors are amazing. I don't get that with the doctors, but with mental health services, because of the way that they labelled me in the past, it's gives me it gives gives me uh it makes me question what's going on and start reliving the past experiences and that which I don't want. I know that the I know that the lady that from mental health services wanted me to mention to the doctors that I know that the lady that I'm working with from services wanted me to mention to the doctors that that uh, that she'd like to speak to them. And Doctor Green, I am really sorry. You did tell me to only do one e-consult a week, but I'd already done my e-consult, and my my the worker from mental health services asked me to ask you to contact her, so I did that for that. I know that I made two phone calls to the surgery last week. I would like to was it two or three? I know that I made a couple of phone calls to the surgery last week and I would like to apologise. Um but you did state to contact the surgery or seek medical advice if my symptoms had changed, if my symptoms had changed with the urination and that kind of thing. So I did ring it a couple of times and there was no appointments left. And I did fit there was no appointments left. Someone had sent me a text over and someone had sent me a text over and someone had sent me a text over for my symptoms and that, but I hadn't had a response back from that. I know on I know on uh, and on there was one day where I was asked to drop a urine dip off for the nurse before four, but I couldn't really get in. I couldn't really get in to do it because the the electrician was over just to sort my meter cupboard out, so there wasn't enough time to get down. There might have been if I got a taxi, but I didn't really want to get a taxi. But then But then, as I say, my other symptoms have got worse, and I was in A&E on Thursday anyway, and it was like really bad stomach like times when the night where it's woken me up. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better now. Touch wood, touch wood. So so yeah, I'm just trying to get a little bit more settled and a little bit more settled again, and it's like yeah, I'm just trying to get a little bit more settled again and a little bit more this, a little bit more that. But yeah, I'm working on a few ideas. Basically, got some plans. Got some plans, but I don't want to say what. But I don't want to build my hopes up too much because 9 times out of 10, I seem to think that I've got things in the pipeline, and genuinely I haven't. Uh, and I generally think that I haven't. I generally think that I have. Sorry, generally think that I've got things in the pipeline, and then nothing materializes. So yeah, it's just about wanting to take that next step up on the ladder progression in the right controlled way that I need. Positives, positives, positives. I had a telephone appointment with the DWP. They are going to look into Universal Credit are going to look into what they can offer me for extra support, but they might struggle as well. So yeah, so so yeah, it's just about working with them, see what's in the pipeline and that kind of thing. But yeah, the fun one's on this weekend, so I'm going to be watching that, and then depending on if that's finished in time, tea time church tomorrow, and then maybe he's a concert tomorrow night, a classical one at the church, but I'm not really sure if that's going to be too much in one day. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself refreshed up here, keep myself refreshed up here, which is what I want to do. And yeah, I've been having a few late nights as well because there's been a lot more stuff on YouTube and that I've been watching, and I've been wanting to catch up with my Jessica Fletchers, and yeah, I'm really enjoying that. And Murder She Wrote, if you don't know what I mean. So yeah, there's a bit of a progression round. Just another inquiry that I I am a little bit embarrassed, but another not really embarrassed, but I just wanted to be a bit clear on a couple of things. I don't mind people asking me questions about things because you're inquisitive or whatever, and I don't mind it at all. I really don't mind it, but I just wanted to clarify. I know that I've made a lot of videos about it as well, and I just wanted to make clarification again. Really, um, I know that I know that I have the gender dysphoria, and I'm not angry or anything. I'm not. I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but I just like it. Just causes confusion in myself if I've not been clear with an individual or on my videos. So I just wanted to be a bit more clear again. That was all. So I do have the gender dysphoria, and I do find it more easier wearing ladies' clothes. In the pres. I am in the process of transitioning all my clothes over to female. I am going to possibly, after I get back off holiday, depending on how the court case and that goes, get start transitioning the rest of my clothes over to ladies, getting the rest of the stuff out that I don't need, the stuff out that I don't want to wear, and seeing how far I can take things. A lot of the stuff like the jeans, the jumpers, and that I'm looking at, you can't tell that the ladies anyway, but you can't tell that the ladies anyway, but I know that the ladies, if I look at the label, if I know that it's got a label and it's a ladies, I'm like, great, I'm wearing ladies' clothes, and like, it's the next step on the ladder, the next step for personal growth, the next step for personal development. And there is some drawers in my dressing room that I would like to take clothes out and put them in my normal drawers and start getting rid of some stuff that I don't need to wear and to charity shops to people that don't need them. So yeah, there's all that, and I do want to progress, and I'm not I'm not sure about hormones yet. I'm not sure about surgeries. I do have dysphoria around boobies, chest hair, body hair, but I don't have dysphoria with other areas, so to speak. So yeah, however, some of the options and that I'm looking into might be might be more suitable for me. I'm looking at laser hair removal or waxing, and I'm wanting to get a breastplate that I can have more of a natural feel with boobies, and like see how it progresses from there. I don't want to take everything. I don't want to take everything like fast. I want to go at my own pace, on steady pace, and see where things go. And generally just be true to myself, be a bit congruent, be a bit this, be that. So yeah. Am I gay? Do I like boys? Do I like girls? And some people have suggested that I've asked if I've got a boyfriend. Do I not have a boyfriend? And that kind of thing whilst I'm dressed. And I'm like, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm single. Generally, I am single. I have been on dating sites since 16 or 17, and I am still trying to find love and that kind of thing. I do try to create or try to change my dating profiles regular just to try to make it a bit more up to date with current affairs. Like when I was going to see Kylie with my mum, I'd changed it on the profile to say that I was looking for someone to go to Kylie with, and now that that's happened, I've had that taken off and rewritten. So it's just about recreating and being honest with my profile for current affairs and current affairs really. So, but yeah, I'm attracted to cis women and transgender women. Um, however, however, would it make me gay being attracted to or dating transgender women because of the new Supreme Court ruling? If that states a woman's biological sex, or if someone's biological sex, if someone, if someone's legal, if the new Supreme Court ruling, sorry, has stated that a woman's biological sex or a man's biological sex is the sex that they were biologically assigned at birth, or if the man's sex or if a woman's sex is the sex that they were biologically at birth, if that means that a transgender woman was biologically male at birth and legally that they're still men or whatever. Does that make me gay? I'm like, don't really know. And people have said to me before, transgender women are born men, and they were like, transgender women were born men, so that makes you gay. But I see transgender women as women. However, to clarify, it I find it easier talking to transgender women, and when I have been on transgender dating sites or normal dating sites, a lot of the responses back are 99.9% of the responses back I get are from transgender women, but I feel like I can relate to them in personal experiences, and we've got similar development, similar journey paths, similar exploration paths, and similar goal paths. Um, but yeah, it would be nice to meet someone with similar experiences or like that understands like the journey path that I'm on. Uh, but yeah, it's what I'm easier talking to. I state on my profile, I'm attracted to cis women and transgender women. It doesn't state that I'm after one or the other, but as I say, it's confusing that because people are saying that I'm targeting transgender women, but could you like if a man states on the profile that they're looking at dating single women between 35 and 40 without any children, doesn't that mean that that man's targeting a single woman between 35 and 40 without any kids? So yeah, I'm using that as an example, but yeah, I've got ideas of what I'd like to do and what I would like to do. I'm changing my dating profile regular. I am trying to be honest and open about who I want to be and the lifestyle that I want. So it's just about trying to fit what I want around other people, like the driving, and I'm trying to fit that in around my parents, what my doctors want, and what I want. But it's just trying to get that interconnectivity and trying to please too many people. Same with mental health support or social groups or whatever. What, what's my parents want one thing, I want another thing, my advocates want another thing, my doctors want another thing. So yeah, it's just a bit of a catch-22 situation. Some of this is making me a bit dizzy even talking about it. But yeah, there's ideas in fruition, and I've got some plans and a couple of things happening next week. Uh, what I'm looking forward to. So yeah, it's just working out up here what I want rather than pleasing other people. Genuinely, I don't want to date anyone with children because of the responsibilities there and certain sensory needs. I don't mind people having children, and in fact, I'm the only one out of three other siblings. There's four of us, but I'm the only one out of the four of us that doesn't have children. I know that some of my nieces and nephews they have children as well, so I don't I don't mind it. Like I don't mind seeing my sister's kids every now and then. I don't sign seeing my brother's kids. I don't mind seeing my other sister's kids. I don't mind seeing my niece's kids, but it gets too much for me after one thing, and after so long, it gets too much. So yeah, I've got a couple of things that I want to work with. If anyone does work for Malden Rugby Club and would be able to point me in the direction of getting access to the car park just so that I could do a little bit of refreshers with my car and a little bit of refreshers with my car. A member of my family would be in with me, and there would be that there would sit in with me. However, however, they just they wouldn't be confident with me on the road. So yeah, I am taxed, I'm tested, I'm insured with the RAC. I've got breakdown cover as well. I'm paying for things. I'm paying for things that I'm not getting any use of, and it's like about time that I'd started driving again. Damian's driven before, but Danielle hasn't. But yeah, I know what I mean. Damian's driven before, but Danielle hasn't. But yeah, it's like I'm wanting to drive for the first time as Danielle, or I'm wanting to drive as the first time as Danielle, or maybe if I'm feeling a bit more flirtatious Daniela. But yeah, it's knowing in my head what I want and that kind of thing. Just excited again to. I'm just excited again to start getting things back on track. Been a really. I know that there's been the ups and downs with the court case. I know that there's been the ups and downs with the court case. I know that there's been the ups and downs with mental health service taking me back. I know that there's been this going on, that going on, but genuinely, hand on heart, it's been one of the best years that I've had since pre-COVID, or in fact since I've lived here. Actually, I'm going on holiday dressed again, possibly, and I'm going to be dressed during the day in Daniela attire. So yeah, it's a lot's happened with the gender stuff. Overcome, I've overcome barriers. I've overcome boundaries with new doctors who were who were working with me, and I'm really glad of that. I've got my license back. I've got the next I've got some energy to start doing things again, but it's just I'm getting turned down, and I'm getting turned down, but everything that's leading to I'm getting turned down, but then it's leading me back to working with community mental health team. But it's like I don't want to be open to the community mental health team, but you need to be open to the community mental health team. I don't want to be open to the community mental health team, but you need to be open to the community mental health team. But don't want to be working with the community mental health team. Make me dizzy. But yeah, it's got plans. I've got ideas that I want to try. I want to make the mistakes. I want to bring Danielle out more often. I want to be true to myself. I want to be a little bit more open who, about who I am inside, and have a great year. It's just, I know that once I can get these little tweaks out the way, once I can get the court case out the way, once I can get the mental health decisions out the way, once I can get the gender stuff out the way, once I can start accepting me for me, I'll be able to have a bit more fun with myself. I'll be able to get some of that energy back, some of that charisma, bring Danielle out again. Or if I'm feeling a bit flirtatious, Daniela. But yeah, it's like understanding what I want to do, and yeah, when I do want to start driving that again, and depend on how that goes, I do want to get a private reg put on my car. I'm not sure about how much it'll be. I don't want to be spending too much. I don't want to be doing it if I don't have to. But it's like I'm the reason why I'm thinking about it is to try to bring the two main parts of my journey together. It's like I've my main the main parts of my journey, and the the main thing, the main parts of my journey, and the most important parts of the journey are driving again and the lady side. And it's like, yeah, get a driving red registration made with Danielle on it, or whatever, and it like brings them two parts together because it's like the driving and the gender rolled into one. So it's something that I've been thinking about, but don't know cost wise or whatever. But yeah, I'm looking into to work on that as well. I've got a couple of ideas that I want to do. I've emailed a couple of places this week just about uh, voluntary work or work experiences, but yeah, it's just about knowing what I want rather and trying to please other people. But yeah, I'm single as well, so I would like to date as I say, but genuinely, I like women. I like trans women. I don't want to date anyone with kids. I'm 35 and I do like music and theatre and that. I would like to start dating, sorry, where I can share my experiences with and share my love of music with, share my love of Formula One with. Um, but yeah, but like sharing someone that I've got a meaningful connection with, that's got similar interests as me. As I state that I do like women as well, to and there've been times in the past where I've messaged women uh, that's whose profile states I'm passionate about Formula One, and I'm like, great, that might be someone that I can connect with because I'm passionate about Formula One and that as well. So yeah, I do message women as well as my other preferences. So yeah, and it's like but then the problem is on dating sites and that I get blocked or abused back, and it's like vicious circle again, and it's just knowing what I want rather than what other people what other people want. But genuinely, it's looking good. It's looking good. I just need to be a bit more honest and be a bit more honest. And it's like as I say, I'm getting told to ring one lot of people for advice and one lot of people for this stage, one lot of people for that stage, and it's like you need to do this, you need to do that, but like I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I want to do this for me, but you need to do this for other people. But yeah, genuinely, I'm trying to understand what I want and trying to come up with a plan with the doctors and the job centre and my advocates that we can all be happy with. Basically, if I could make everyone happy and please everyone at the same time, I'd be the world's richest man and I wouldn't be in this mess. But yeah, it's just about what I want rather than what other people want. But yeah, just to end the video with tonight, I just wanted to talk about what I watch my TV with and what I watch the TV with, and just a few things that I've been reading in the media. Uh, Basically, I've been reading an article or been watching a couple of videos on YouTube, and they're stating that the BBC are wanting to shut down Freeview in wanting to shut down terrestrial TV by I can't remember if they said 2030 or 2040. However, I'm not sure with the dates. I'm not sure with the dates, but they're wanting to make it more internet based streaming and internet based streaming and that kind of thing. And I'd just like to give my thoughts on some of that. Uh, Basically, what I'm thinking is it just another way to get people to spend more money because the there might be people out there, especially older people, I like older people, and my like my grandparents, for example, they won't have uh, a broadband. They won't have broadband, and a lot of people don't because of costs and that. I'm lucky that I'm lucky that I do have broadband and that kind of thing, so it wouldn't really affect me there. However, it would affect me if the broadband went down. I don't use the Freeview that often. I can't remember the last time that I used it, but I do have an aerial and I do have the Freeview. If my broadband went down tonight, or if it went off for whatever reason, and I couldn't access the internet on my devices, I'd be able to watch TV at least because I have the the free view the free the free view there built in. So yeah, I don't know if it's another making scheme, or if it's to try to get people to spend more money or whatever. But the main reasons in that I would still use the main reasons in that why I think it's a bad idea or why it's beneficial to me is that, like, for the old people and that, as I say, because like someone with my nana and granddad's experience, be they won't have a clue how to use broadband, and the like from my experiences and that as well, if the TV does go off, if the broadband does go off, at least I can watch TV as a backup. I can watch free the free channels and that as a backup. So yeah, it'll give people less flexibility on what they're wanting for a backup, if that makes sense. But yeah, I did get the aerial put in when I moved in from the year that I moved in. I was having problems with the signal on most of the channels, and that worked, but the channels that I wanted to watch the most in my bedroom, uh, the channel that I wanted to watch most didn't really work, and got a new aerial put in, all the others taken out, and I got a new aerial put in, all the other aerials taken out, except they didn't come back for the one on the roof, but I got another aerial put in, and that kind of thing. So yeah, uh, so yeah, so yeah. As I say, it's got it put in, got it put in. So about 20, was it last year or the year before that I got Skystream. So yeah, I've got Skystream put in, and basically it's about 2023. I got it put in. I think I'm not sure, but basically I can watch. Basically, I can. The Sky Stream runs off the internet as well. So basically, with the way that the Sky Stream's set up, is that it's wired into the cupboard in the living room, and there's an adapter in the cupboard that splits the signal off to this TV, and there's a cable that goes through the loft, down the loft, down some channeling in my bedroom, and I can watch watch the Sky Stream in my bedroom. The only times really that I use it for the bedroom is when there's an early morning Formula One race on, I like to put the headphones on in the bed so that I don't disturb the neighbours downstairs. However, the only downside with it really is that you have to watch the same program on each TV. If you want to watch the Sky, if you want to watch the Sky, it'd have to be the same on the living room TV and on the bedroom TV. However, only I live here, but if I had someone staying over with me, or if I had someone staying over with me, I could put the Sky on in my bedroom, watch what I wanted, and they could watch the same on the TV in the living room and watch what they wanted on the Freeview, or vice versa. So yeah, it does work in certain circumstances like that as well. And normally, normally I use uh I use the Fire Stick more. I bought the Fire Stick and I wasn't expecting to use it that much because I didn't use the Android TV boxes anyway that much. I did use them sometimes, but since Linus Tech Tips from Canada, lttstar.com, since they had made a video and said they were full of malware or they were high risky and that, I'd not used it as much, and I have been struggling to work out what sort of streaming device that I want for my recommendations for the wiring and that kind of thing, because I ideally wanted to power it off a USB port in the cupboard because there was no normal plug sockets in that spare. So yeah, got I've got it powered from the USB port on the telly, and it's powered by USB. I have had to buy an adapter and that to get it to work with uh Ethernet and that, but it's all wired in, and I use that more. I use that more than I actually use the Skybox at the moment. I do use the Sky in that for the Formula One and other stuff, but yeah, I generally mainly use the Fire Stick. It's like Murder She Wrote. I watch that on the Fire Stick. I can get them apps on built into the TV or on the Sky, but I find it a little bit smoother on the Fire Stick. But yeah, like YouTube and Murder She Wrote, Pluto, uh, and a lot of the stuff that I watch is on the Fire Stick and that. But yeah, it's a really good device in that at the moment. So and I didn't realise at the time, but it was a good thing that I bought it as well because I could press this button here on the remote. Who's at the front door? And then it puts the front door on. It even does it. It even does it if I don't have the Sky on. If I've got the Sky on or the normal TV, I can just ask who's at the front door, and it does it on the Fire Stick, even if I'm not don't have the Fire Stick switched on. So yeah, as I say, there's them ideas. So yeah, I didn't even have a ring doorbell then, but I was thinking about getting one. So I've been wanting to get one of them for a while. But yeah, it's a wonderful journey that I'm on at the moment. I know that I was going to finish on that, but I just wanted to say one final thing with the gender and the the journey that I'm on. I do want to experiment more with ladies' clothes, and I do want to wear more ladies' formal stuff, like get a ladies' suit or wear formal clothes. If anyone would be able to advise me on what what there is out there, it'd be really appreciated. I want to be able to buy in store. I want to be able to buy in store and try on in store. I don't want to be able to buy online because I want to be able to try in store, take it back if I need to. I don't mind uh, buying, doing click and collect on multiple items that are the same. I don't mind doing a click and collect for multiple items that are different sizes. uh, and taking it back to the city if I need to, uh, and getting a refund that way. But I don't want to be able to just buy off somewhere and and it not fitting. I'd want to be able to try in store and that kind of thing. Like when I bought my gold, when I bought my dress for Kylie. That's what I did anyway. New look. I'd bought the dress for Kylie and then tried it on in store, and the largest size was the one that fitted me. So yeah, it's getting on a bit tonight. I just want to get a few things out of my head. I am feeling very excited again. I am mentally all right here. It's if anyone knows about me or if they're worried about me that I'm getting ambulances and that out all the time again. It's I'm just trying to be honest about why I don't want to be working with mental health services. This is what's going on. This is what's led to this. This is what's led to that. And then it's like back to the police, back to ambulance, and yet send an ambulance out again. And I don't want to be doing that anymore, but it's making me dizzy thinking about it. But yeah, thanks and goodbye.